The Reinkstone R1. This has caused a little bit of a stir in the e-reader world. And why is that? It's because they kind of did this all before with the Whiskey E-Write. You can see on our YouTube channel. We did an unboxing and review of that way back when. They're not directly the same company, but they are associated with the guys releasing this. Now, to be fair, the actual screen that they're using is 100% legitimate. It is from a company called Good Displays in China. They've been in business since 2007 and have sold TFT, LCD, LED, e-paper, and now the new DES Slurry screen. If you go to their website, you'll see you can buy the 10.1-inch screen that this device is using. Good Displays is a legitimate company for a long time now, 14 years actually. The guys at Reinkstone who are making this physical unit bought the display panels from Good Displays and put it inside this unit. Now, we did try to give the company a week to get things going, but we haven't heard anything back from them in terms of a software update. So this device, when we do this review, just right now after this lead-in, you have to note that this is not final. We almost guarantee the software is going to change. But for now, let's look a little bit deeper into the Reinkstone R1. Let's start off with the stylus. The stylus they give you is not that great. It's a little bit flimsy. The lapel clip looks like it's going to snap off, and the nib is kind of wobbly. It wobbles in place pretty drastically. However, don't worry too much because this is running an EMR screen, which means you can use any pen under the sun that is running EMR. You can use the Remarkable pen, you can use the Lamy, and for this review we are going to use the Lamy because we just feel more comfortable with it, and it works cross-compatible on pretty much anything with EMR. Now let's look at every single aspect of this device as best we can. If you tap the bar, you'll get Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, auto-rotate, location, and invert colors. Auto-rotate and location are currently missing the icons, but this is why we said that this is not a final software build. You can go into dark mode, and it flips everything like that. And remember, this device is using an all-new color e-paper tech, so it is very, very refresh heavy. It's like emptying a whole bathtub and refilling it rather than just doing each individual pixel. So there is a little bit of a refresh heavy nature. We're going to keep it on white because it just looks better for the video. It does have glow light ability. It's a little bit overexposed on the top and bottom, but overall it's not bad. You have to kind of keep it low or else a lot of the icons go away. You do have audio as well. You can change the audio levels right there, and it has onboard speakers because this is running multimedia, and it does have web browser, the ability to sideload in APKs, etc. So looking at the bottom, we have home, reader, note, and settings. Home is where you're going to have all of your apps. You can long press on an app, and in really tiny font it says application management, join the group or uninstall. So you can make a group, you can move things around, etc. You have multiple pages there as well. Over in settings, we'll just go and do a little bit of a deep look here. You have your user guide, you have your Reinkstone version 1.00. You have Wi-Fi connected devices via Bluetooth, and preferences. Preferences has percentage of display power, floating ball setup, etc. You can pause the video at any point in time if you want to read these, because we're not going to read off every single thing that it has. Applications manager, this is very Android-esque. It'll just be a list of all of your applications with permissions and other things you can do of that nature, like force close. Firmware update, we have scanned. Currently there are no firmware updates available for this unit. Sound is where you're going to find your vibration, do not disturb, etc. You have all of your advanced as well, so you can choose ringtones for anything like if you install WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger or whatever you choose to do with this unit. Over here you have storage. It tells you how much storage is on the device. You can see that there's 7.2 gigs of system storage that is already pre-installed on here. You have security and privacy, lock screen and password, encryption, screen lock. This is just going to be standard Android 11 stuff. And then about tablet right here. Again, pause the video at any point in time if you want to see these. Developer options, certification marks. On the right, you have a floating ball, which you can disable. Now, something extremely different between Color E-Ink and this version, the DES Slurry of Color E-Paper, is that you can truly disable the color. Yes, 100%. It's not desaturated, it's not 99% gone, it's 100% disabled. The color will be completely gone when you trigger the palette here. And when you click it again, it turns on instantly. Sometimes it doesn't even need to do another refresh. It's quite impressive, and that is a big advantage of the Good Displays Color DES versus Color E-Ink, is that you can actually toggle that truly without any sort of software glitches like the Poke 2 Color. As you have seen, evidently, there is a lot of staining with this screen technology, and that's because it's not using grids of pixels like e-ink is. It's using a big, basically a bathtub that has to completely empty and refresh every single time. So staining is very, very prominent, but you can have a good experience because the actual quality of the image you see, albeit distracting because of the staining, is high quality. This is not the only application you have. You can sideload in any application you wish and use that as a reader. This is just the stock one. You can't write right away, but you can go down here to the toggle and you can click write. Once you do that, you've highlighted that. Now you can write on the screen, and you have this as well. If you use your finger, it'll open up a palette, but we're going to save that till the note-taking section. If you watched our previous video on Color E-Ink versus DES, you will notice that these colors are more vibrant and they look better, but it is more fuzzy and kind of out of focus. Reason being, they're not using traditional grids of pixels, so the colors kind of bleed into each other far more than Color E-Ink, which has designated sections for all of their particles. You can see there's a lot of staining, and it's almost like splotchiness, where it's trying to create highlights and lowlights. It looks kind of okay. When you look at it, you kind of say to yourself, yeah, that looks okay, but it's not as refined as Color E-Ink by far, even if you trigger refreshes. PDFs look okay and the formatting is adequate, and you do have the ability to toggle the colors off and on, and we should note that that color toggle is actually system-wide. It is not designated to one particular section, so you do have the ability to do that anytime you want. Now again, the software needs work. We're not able to actually turn pages properly. We've tried a couple taps and it's just not really cooperating. There was the first one. So aside from that, it does look good, and the 10.1 inch screen is more than enough to read your PDFs properly. Needless to say, really, the lack of any sort of speed modes make it unwatchable when it comes to videos. We're seeing, 3 frames a second here. It's skipping. It's not a good experience as of yet. This could all be fixed with a speed mode integrated, and that would really clean the unit up. It's not a matter of color either. As you can see, we've toggled off the color, and it doesn't really change the fact that it is just that slow. You can force a refresh anytime you wish, but it's just, that's where it's sitting as of today's date. The note-taking experience. Here's all your test notes right there, and you can go ahead and make a new note by just clicking the plus. Now looking at the top elements, you have this, which is share, and you can share with any app on your system. So once you start downloading WhatsApp, Line, Kakao Talk, Facebook Messenger, OneDrive, Outlook, you can start sharing with all those applications. That's really nice. You have an undo and a redo, and you have a drop down here for templates. You can also add in your own templates from the device storage via different files on your unit. So they do have 30 colors, which is very nice. So far, Onyx has the most with 16. Now, to be fair, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them look like they're pink, and 8 of them look like they're red. So they're not using every color under the color wheel, but it is nice to have those as an option. Now, as you write on the screen, you see I chose green, but it turns out to be red. So, it's just not ready yet, but this is what it is going to look like. We can use the stock pen if you want a little bit more grip. This nib I don't really trust though, because it's sticking out really far and it bends really easily, so I kind of feel like I'm going to snap that off, which is why the Lamy is more of a premium option. You can go over to the eraser, and you can start scrubbing away. Because this device doesn't recognize the side button as an eraser, it won't do it, but it will do it on their own pen, so you can go ahead and flip their pen around and use that. So that's a little bit of an advantage of using the stock pen. There's also a microphone icon here for dictation, so we can start making a recording. This is a recording test for the Reinkstone R1. As you can see, it doesn't actually play. And it did record a little bit later than started, and the ticker at the top is still going, and it has crashed. It also saved our note, and every time it crashes, it saves a new note. So we do have to make sure we go back into that to continue on this review. And we do apologize for that, but we have had some people recommend that we don't cut our videos too much so that we don't quote-unquote doctor them. So what you are seeing is the raw experience. Now let's do some note-taking. I'm going to choose a bigger line just so we can see it, thicker, and we'll choose blue. So there you have it. That's the review of the Reinkstone R1. If you are just joining us and you've skipped ahead, they are using legitimate panels from a company that's been around for 15 years making panels for all over the world. So the technology is here to stay, and it is good. It just needs some refinement, and these guys are bringing it into a retail packaging environment. Whether this comes out or not, we just need to wait and see. When we get another update for the software, we'll do another review video. For now, this is a review of the Reinkstone R1.